Here are today's top stories. The Department of Agriculture says government measures to maintain food supply and prices help cushion the impact of inflation on Filipinos. The Department of Health commits to making ghost or non-operational health facilities become fully functional. Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon welcomes the appointment of former Philippine National Police Chief Rodolfo Azurin Jr. as advisor of the Independent Commission for Infrastructure. 300 more public utility buses are expected to ply routes along Commonwealth Avenue for the convenience of commuters in Quezon City. This is the Pna Headlines. I am William Theo. The Department of Agriculture, or DA, vouches for the government's measures to help keep basic goods affordable and cushion the impact of inflation on Filipino families. In a statement, Agriculture Secretary Francisco Q. Laurel Jr. said the DA has taken steps to manage the supply and affordability of the country's main staples, including rice, sugar, and corn. Q. Laurel said the government has increased the availability of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s 20 pesos per kilo rice program, especially in calamity-hit areas. The maximum suggested retail price for 5% broken imported rice has also been maintained at 43 pesos per kilo despite the import ban on rice. Meanwhile, the DA has ordered the importation of red and white onion, carrots, and broccoli, as well as fish to augment local supplies and keep prices stable. Data from the Philippine Statistics Authority showed that price deflation persisted for the bottom 30% income households at negative 0.2% in September 2025 from negative 0.6% in August. Headline inflation slightly went up to 1.7% from 1.5% in August due to the impact of weather disturbances on food supply. Among others, food inflation surged to 19.4% from 10% in August due to higher vegetable prices. Rice inflation also slightly rose to negative 16.9% from the record low negative 17% in August. As the government implements reforms to hold accountability over the management of critical infrastructure, the Department of Health, or DOH, has committed to make so-called ghost or non-operational health centers fully functional. This amid efforts to strengthen the country's primary healthcare system. In an interview, DOH Secretary Teodoro Herbosa said they are auditing health facilities nationwide to identify those underperforming due to lack of personnel, equipment, or proper accreditation. Herbosa said only 70% of the 600 centers built under the Health Facilities Enhancement Program are functional. He explained that it is the local government units that are responsible for hiring health center staff. Herbosa said he can have health facilities managed by tapping DOH employees. The DOH also has a national health workforce system, like the Doctors to the Barrios program, to fill gaps in personnel. Another option would be a private-public partnership. Department of Public Works and Highway Secretary Vince Dizon has welcomed the appointment of former Philippine National Police Chief Rodolfo Azurin Jr. as the new advisor of the Independent Commission for Infrastructure, or ICI. The DPWH chief previously met Azurin and former advisor Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong in Manila to discuss actions to speed up the investigation into anomalous flood control projects. Dizon said the commission has become impatient and angry over the controversy for the sake of the Filipino people. He expressed confidence in Azurin's ability to hold accountable those involved in the flood control mess no matter what. At the same time, Dizon acknowledged Mayor Magalong for his continued assistance despite resigning as ICI advisor. For his part, Azurin said he has not met with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. regarding his marching order, but he assured the president of his desire to put the perpetrators behind bars. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Customs, or BOC, submitted to the ICI documents relevant to the flood control project probe, including the case involving the Diskaya family. The BOC submitted enforcement orders, copies of search warrants and warrants of seizure and detention, lists of importation documents, and other progress reports. Commissioner Ariel Nepomuceno said he has directed all concerned offices within the Bureau to provide full cooperation to the ICI and other related bodies to ensure a fair, comprehensive, and evidence-based investigation. To help provide convenience to commuters at Commonwealth Avenue in Quezon City, Acting Transportation Secretary Giovanni Lopez has ordered the issuance of special permits to add around 300 more public utility buses that will pass through the area. Lopez said the issuance of additional permits are in line with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s order to ease commuters' woes. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, has issued 268 special permits allowing buses along the Sapang Palay route to pass through Nia Road. The PUBs ply the route of Sapang Palay, Commonwealth Avenue, East Avenue, Internal Road, and Nia Road and back. The buses will be allowed on Nia Road in October during rush hours from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. and from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. To ensure a smooth flow of traffic, Lopez ordered the Philippine Coast Guard and the Land Transportation Office to deploy 4 personnel each to manage traffic along Nia Road and ensure that each PUB stops will only have 3 minutes to drop off and pick up passengers. He also stressed the need for bus stops near MRT 3 stations, which will benefit train riders, including senior citizens and persons with disabilities or PWDs. In our business news, the Landbank of the Philippines announced that its services have resumed in Cebu and Masbate alongside the rollout of financial support for victims of severe tropical storm Opong and the magnitude 6.9 earthquake. Landbank said it has already mobilized about 4.9 million pesos in monetary aid for affected areas, particularly Bogo City and the rest of Cebu Province, as well as Masbate City and the municipalities of Uson, Dimasalang, Kawayan, Kataingan, Mandaon, Milagros, and Palanas in Masbate. In addition, the bank has several financial support programs, such as the Communities Assistance and Reintegration Support, plus Lending Program, Electronic Salary Loan, Easy Cash for Emergencies, the Pension and Emergency Relief Loan, and emergency loans for government employees. On the other hand, the remaining branch that remains closed is the branch light unit in Aurora, Masbate, affected by power outages. In a statement, Landbank President and Chief Executive Officer Lynette Ortiz said the bank stands ready to deliver immediate and sustained financial lifelines to Filipinos hit by disasters and help boost recovery in affected areas. Meanwhile, the Aurora Pacific Economic Zone and Freeport Authority, or APECO, has partnered with Spain-based groups for the planned development of a food and cold chain logistics hub in Casiguran, Aurora. APECO President and Chief Executive Officer Lawyer Gil Taway said initial talks were held with Spain-based engineering firm IDOM and designer Fira Barcelona during an investment mission to Spain on September 29 to October the 3rd. Taway said they proposed to IDOM officials a feasibility study for a food and logistics hub similar to the 100-hectare Mercabarna Food City in Barcelona. For its part, IDOM officials offered to help APECO enlist in investment-ready projects that may be of interest to IDOM's partners such as the Asian Development Bank, or ADB. Taway said IDOM's proposal aligns with their goals to make Casiguran the fishing capital of the Pacific as well as boost Aurora's agri-based industries. APECO officials also met with Fira Barcelona Chief Executive Officer Ricardo Zapatero to discuss the establishment of a world-class convention center within the ecozone. And those are the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Headlines. For more news updates, visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. You may also watch the Pna Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under Pna News. Stay with us for more news updates, and it is 78 days before Christmas. And the season of giving, glowing, and growing is closer and almost here. I am William Theo. This is the Pna Headlines, bringing you stories that unite the nation.